Back inside Geisman Gymnasium. Once again, I'm CJ Sellner with my partner Carter Gledhill. Glad you could join us here with our rest of our fantastic CSN crew. Quick break, Carter. We're ready to go again, this time on the women's side.
Lunch break and now back to work. It's going to be an exciting game again for part two after a really exciting game in overtime we saw against these Raiders and the Cougars before in the men's.
Cougar men win in overtime in game one. Now it's on to the women's side. MSOE coming in with a 6-12 overall record, 6-7 in the NACC. These Cougars come into today 6-13 overall, 5-9 in the NACC in a playoff race that, again, we kind of said it when the Cougars took on Marion on Thursday night. This is a very key game for them towards their playoff race.
It's huge because this is a game that's definitely winnable. If we're looking and comparing the teams, the first thing that I saw when I looked at the stat sheet was the difference in points per game. CUC is averaging about 61. These Raiders are only averaging about 48, so that's something that's huge, especially with key players like Tara Hastings and Charisma Robinson for these Cougars in the offensive side.
And another note on the stats that you'll see right away, MSOE, a team that is negative in the turnover margin, and that's where CUC loves to make their bread and butter.
Oh, CUC thrives off turnovers, leading the conference in steals. They're nationally ranked as well. Also credit to Charisma Robinson, who's been having a fantastic season. She has 49 steals to lead the team. So, again, this is a very aggressive team under Coach Martin. We've seen take a lot of risks, put in a lot of different defensive schemes because the goal of it is to throw you off balance, and they're going to try to discomfort these Raiders early on today.
The Raiders are a team that sit one game ahead of the Cougars in the NACC standings coming into today. We'll get you updated with scores around the NACC as they come in throughout the day. It should be a fun one here. We talk about Tara Hastings a lot, but the one that really stepped up, we had a senior step up in the game before this, and it was the senior Annika Ray with a career high on Thursday night.
Yeah, career high of 17 points and 4 rebounds. She did fantastic, and the thing was, we talked about how when you get around to start conference and you start seeing teams for a second time like you did in Marion, they knew from the first time when Tara Hastings set her previous high of 26 points in that game that she was going to be a threat. She was held to one of her lowest performances of the year with only 8 points, but still, Annika Ray just out of nowhere, and she really just stepped up, and she's been a great piece of energy we've seen added into this young, youthful Cougars team.
And one that we'd like to see continue to get going, it was Bailey Steinkamp. She's had some big outputs this year, but then she's also had some lulls. The last 2 games, she's in double figures for CUC, and when she gets going and when you start seeing multiple double-figure scores for the CUC team, yeah, probably they're on the right side of the scoring column.
Yeah, she's shooting almost 44% from the field. She's the team's best free throw shooter with 92%, which is fantastic. But she's so quick off the dribble. We've seen so many times crossovers, and just being able to create space between defenders is so important into your game so you can get those open shots. She's really going to be another key factor in this game today for the Cougars.
And one final person to talk about, Jaylene Wade. We don't talk about her a ton coming off the bench, but she really gives just utter fantastic minutes off the bench.
She's actually one of my favorite players to watch in this team because she does so much and it goes unnoticed. She's one person that Coach Martin can put on the ball, and she is a lockdown defender. On top of that, too, she is one of the most calm and collective shooters on this team, and when she's asked to shoot the 3 in big situations, she's always there. She's a fantastic ball handler, and she's going to have a huge impact today for these Cougars if they keep her in the games team.
Amy Reiser leads the MSOE team with an 11.2 points per game average. Michaela Doggs right behind her there with 11.1. Doggs has had 20-plus point outputs the last 2 games, scoring 23 against IIT and then 24 against Rockford. So that will be one of the keys for CUC to slow this MSOE team down. Glad you could join us. Just over 90 seconds till tip. Carter, your X factor and your thoughts on the game.
I think the X factor is going to be early on. The Cougars are going to have to put the pressure on this team. This Raiders team is not a high-scoring offense, not a very good shooting offense either, as a team combined only shooting 26% from behind the three-point line and 34% as from the field. So it's a team that if you're able to put the pressure on early, like we've seen the Cougars do so many times, it's going to be very easy for these Cougars to get in the offensive groove because their defense feeds their offensive energy.
Just over a minute till we get going here. Cougar basketball is proud to be brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Chick-fil-A in Melrose Park has you covered. Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. Glad you could join us here from Geisman Gymnasium, NACC on a Saturday afternoon. Starting a little late here, we're also honoring Girls and Women's in Sports Day today. The actual holiday is coming in a couple of weeks, but we will be celebrating it today just the way the calendar lines. Also this year at CUC, we're celebrating 60 years in women's athletics, as the banner on the north wall you'll see throughout play today. 60 years, started back in 1959. If you hadn't had a chance to really look at the CUC women's history video, Danny, the athletic communications assistant here, did a fantastic job in telling the history story.
Fantastic job, just everything that you mentioned about a whole series of Concordia and the women's sports, and it's really awesome experience to celebrate, to have the school celebrate it, because it's so important, because I think you can agree to this, like we wouldn't have our jobs right now if we didn't have these kind of women in sports doing what they do.
Absolutely. It's time for starting lineups here. We'll turn it over to public address announcer Jim Egan for the starting lineups for today's contest. Back inside Geisman Gymnasium once again, resetting your starting lineups. Grayville, Reiser, Dogs, Juan, and Valley for MSOE. And for the Cougars, it's Robinson, Hastings, Ray, Steinkamp, and Thornton. Cougars in the home white uniforms will be going right to left across your screen with the gold numbers and black trim for the first half. Raiders will be in the away red uniforms with white numbers and black trim. Raiders are coached by Hannah Trees in her first season. Head coach of the Cougars is Lauren Martin in her second season. Cougars trying to make it 2 straight wins here after defeating Marion earlier in the week here at Geisman. It's been a busy week. You said it early that how they come out early is big, but really when it's a third game of a week coming off a CIT, there's been a lot of games on these legs.
It has been, and it's really just a lot of endurance right now, but I think one thing that's been keeping these teams together has been the willpower and just the confidence they've had in the energy of just getting out there and competing. You saw a huge win back against Marion on Thursday, and it's going to be continuing. You see the energy probably out of this after the tip. It's going to be a high-paced game, and it's going to be an exciting-paced game, just like the men's.
Well, you also want to talk about high-paced. When you look at this MSOE bench, they only have 4 sitting on the bench today, and CUC runs at least 10 to 12 out there every game.
Well, and it's also because they play with such a high pace of play. So if you are able to run out the Raiders as fast as you usually do in your opponents, you're going to be able to get them off the game as fast as possible.
Layup is up and good for Charisma Robinson. Cougars on the board first. Head coach of the Cougars, Lauren Martin. CUC up 2-0 here in the opening possession as that one's thrown out of bounds, and it will stay MSOE ball. MSOE ball with 11 seconds to shoot here. From up above here at Geisman Gymnasium in River Forest, Illinois. Ball poked away by Robinson. Ray ahead. Hastings with a right hand, too strong on a layup. MSOE bringing it up. Cougars going man-to-man on the defense Robinson pokes that one away, has the open look with the left hand, and it's good.
And you see there, that's just so quick. Even though Hastings missed the first one, but Robinson made that one. You just see how fast they are in transition because they get the steal and they are off to the races going to the basket.
Robinson with the first 4 points for CUC as that one's blocked away by Thornton. And although they lost both those games at CIT, I thought that was kind of a turning point for this team confidence-wise because they played 2 very good, 2 very close games. So I thought that's where you saw that confidence. I mean, they had a shot at the buzzer to try to beat CU Dub. You were close against CUAA for quite some time, and they just made the free throws late. The score is not indicative of how close that game was.
No, and I think the one thing we've been saying throughout the season is this team is so young, and they have a lot of youth, a lot of freshman play here. And on top of that, you're just going to see so much maturity already since the beginning of the season. But we've seen a huge step up in this team since the IT in that win against Marion and even in that loss against Edgewood.
Hastings with it on the right side. Needs somewhere to go. It's to Steinkamp. Steinkamp creates space for 3. Good. And CUC on a 7-0 run.
And you just see there that Steinkamp wasn't doing anything tricky. She just read the defender, and you see that she was playing off, so why not give one more fake, get a little bit more separation, and that's something you mentioned earlier on is Steinkamp. She's been an electric shooter when she gets the ball.
Shot inside, up no good, and it's Michaela Thornton coming away with it. Layup inside, counted, and it's going to be an MSOE timeout. CUC on a 9-0 run here to open this one. Carter, what have you seen thus far?
We've seen this team just absolutely explode off from the tip. They've been in transition, they've had steals, and they've just been really just outrunning the Raiders right now, who you mentioned don't have a lot of depth. So if we've seen that if they keep this pace of play up, it's going to be really hard for the Raiders to gain ground if they're going to be trailing with energy the whole time.
It was changed to a full timeout on the floor. Whether close or far, Chicago Motor Coach has your group transportation needs covered. Chicago Motor Coach proud to be the official transportation provider of CUC Athletics. 9-0 Cougars here just over 2 minutes in. We'll take a quick break. Out here at Geisman Gymnasium. Once again, I'm CJ Sumner with my partner Carter Gledhill. CUC kind of getting off to a start like they did against Marion on Thursday night.
Yeah, and you know, they went out against Marion. They were on a 15-2 run, and they just kept it going. And you just see here, they're off to a great start right now, being fast on the defensive side, but really been moving in really well in the transition on offense.
Underneath and near travel. Kick back out, CUC playing suffocating defense, but there's going to be a foul called on the way up and 2 free throws coming here for the Raiders, Michaela Dogs.
Looks like Annika Ray got a little bumped in the head, in the nose right there or something on that last one too. She's holding her nose right now.
I know that feeling all too well. You're not necessarily trying not to cry, but the tears that come in your eyes when you get hit on the top of the nose. First free throw's up and good. Dogs a 70% free throw shooter on the season with 1 more to come. Second free throw off the mark. I'm not going to try to jinx this here, Carter, but already a lot less whistles than we had in the men's game.
Oh, my goodness. That was there were almost 40 fouls called in those between the two teams.
Strong take, Michaela Thornton to the rim.
And that's something that's been interesting since Coach Martin and like the midpoint of the season. Michaela Thornton's been bringing up the ball, and it's always added like a difference of style scheme there because it's allowed her to drive off the ball, but also, too, it's allowed Hastings and even Ray to even get open more on the shots.
CUC quickly forward on 11-1 run to open up things here at Geisman, trying to pick up their second straight win and stay in the playoff race. Robinson through traffic with a left hand, just too strong. Now it's MSOE ahead. Right side, now a baseline drive with the right hand, and there's going to be a whistle and 2 free throws coming.
Steinkamp had the right idea there, trying to eliminate that draw, but she was just a little late going to the baseline, and that's what you see. There was a foul called.
We'll see Jaylene Wade come in for CUC, replacing Steinkamp. 2 free throws coming here for number 2, Britta Gravold, the 5'6" junior guard from Norway, Michigan. First free throw off the mark. One more free throw to come here for the junior. Second free throw is good. You'll see Crystal Core coming into the CUC lineup. She had her first double-digit point performance of the season against Marion on Thursday night. She had 10 points.
And she was really good in the paint. We saw her make some really good moves, being light on her feet. She just started to develop a little more court vision in that game, and that's why you saw the double-digit points.
Inside Core with the right hand, and it's good.
Picking up where she left off against Marion, you see there just reading the defender on the backside and just went up in with a nice dribble up.
It seems like over the last couple of games, as that's going to be called a kickball, that she's kind of got a little bit of a renewed energy and spirit.
Yeah, I mean, she was coming off an injury at the beginning of the year, and it's really hard to get back in the groove of things, but you work out all the kinks, and you just see her. It's not bothering anymore because she's been really quick in these past couple games we've seen.
13-2 Cougars lead it here, just over 4 minutes in. Cougars picking up here, Dogs. She's one of the keys to shut down of this MSOE offense. Look for 3 off the right wing is good out of the hands of Amy Reiser. Robinson wanted to drive, had it poked away. Now it's Dogs trying to get ahead in transition, and they're going to get her for a travel before she got the shot up.
And you see Jaylene Wade there coming in and crossing over and reaching in, but then also forced to travel there.
Sarah Ludwig into the game for Charisma Robinson. CUC 6 of 8 shooting from the field thus far. MSOE just 1 of 3. They've turned it over 4 times. Wade wants to drive, gets cut off. You'd like to see them continuing to get Core involved in the post. As that one's stolen away, Thornton tried to find Ludwig.
And you see again, that's just a little bit too much of a forced pass right there. You've been working your offense, keep using it.
Dogs inside, finds Brown, and she'll count it with a foul. Freshman will go to the line.
So we started to see now, too, that the Cougars were out to a fast start with the transitions, and now it's the same thing where it's just getting in the rotation, where it's just at the end of the first and midway through, it's just slowing down for them, and they get into a lull of offense.
5:10 remaining in this first quarter, and the free throw's off the mark.
So if you're Coach Martin here and you understand that everything is going the same way almost as it went identical to Marion, you got to make sure that your players are running the same offense, and you're going to be doing that by bringing in your captain. And it's also just so important that you just keep running this offense because you see what happens when you do.
Ludwig with the skip cross to Thornton, under 10 to shoot. Crystal Core giving the screen. Now Thornton gets around a defender, layup with the left hand, too strong. MSOE skips it across. Left side, Reiser. Now inside, back to Reiser. She'll find Dogs inside, swatted away by Core. Correction, that was Maruga that got blocked. Thornton wants to drive, and she got fouled on the way in. Foul will be against Brown. Kayla Kohler comes into the game for CUC, replacing Thornton. CUC already with 9 different players that have played in this opening period. Core now kicks. Ludwig passed up on the 3, now wants to drive. Now to Kohler. Wade needs an outlet. It's to Ludwig with under 10. Ludwig trying to drive. Tough shot, swatted away. She gets her own rebound. Kicks. Kohler with the shot clock expiring, off back iron, no good. Rebound was initially grabbed by Brown, but she lost it, and a 3 for Hastings is off the mark. Now it's Core, and she got fouled.
Do you see there just the chances that they've been getting off the second chance rebounds, offensive boards has been huge. Even there, a great look from Hastings right there for a 3. But nice job by Core getting in there and doing the dirty work and getting fouled.
3:37 remaining in the opening quarter. CUC has been scoreless over the last 2.5 minutes after coming out on a 13-1 run, and that one's thrown away. Open race down, and the layup is good for Reiser. And Coach Martin wants a timeout. 13-9 your score here, 3:32 remaining in the first quarter. It's a 30-second timeout. Both teams shooting 50% from the floor has been the difference so far, has been the turnovers. CUC with 5 points off a turnover. They've been giving them back. It's a 7-0 MSOE run over the last 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Lutheran Public Radio is proud to be a sponsor of Concordia University Chicago Athletics. Listen to sacred music anytime, anywhere at lutheranpublicradio.org or on the LPR app. 13-9 here at Geisman. We'll be back on the air on Tuesday night when the Cougar men take on Lakeland here. 7 p.m. start here from Geisman. We won't have Carter with us, though I think we might be having the season debut of Macy Klein.
Oh, boy. It's good.
3 for Jaylene Wade, off the mark, no good. CUC still struggling here, and Coach Martin, that was something she talked about, where this team can't have these over droughts. After coming out strong, they're 1 for their last 7 from the field. Three up off the mark, out of the hands of Maddie McGrath. Under 3 to go in the opening quarter. 4-point Cougar lead. Into the high post. Maruga trying to go past Kohler. Now under 10 to shoot. Reiser, baseline jumper, too strong, and Core comes away with the rebound. She's had a good energy on the boards. That's her third. Cougars will back it out and reset the offense. MSOE still on that 7-0 run. CUC's last basket came on a Crystal Core layup with 6 minutes left in the quarter. And that stretch is going to continue and now be over 4 minutes long.
But in that 4 minutes, we've seen just a little bit of a sloppier offense than we saw at the beginning. The passes aren't as crisp, and they're not moving with the same energy that they had at the beginning of the game.
Hastings trying to end the drought. She gets a steal. Layup is good with the left hand.
And that's one thing that one of her strengths is that the speed she gets off steals. She's huge. She's just so speedy fast on the court. It's really hard to catch her.
Ends in over 4 minutes scoreless drought for CUC. Good ball movement. Open 3 from the left hand of Dogs is no good.
And this is where we start to see the Cougars pick up a little bit pace towards the end of the quarter as they start to just get a little bit more rhythm in their offense.
Jaylene Wade's 3 is off the mark, no good. Rebound is out of bounds. Last touch by Graybold and out of bounds. It'll be CUC ball. You'll see Robinson, Ray, and Steinkamp back in on the CUC side. Guan will return, the sophomore from Taipei to Taiwan. McGrath to inbound underneath to Robinson. Skip past Ray. Coming up on the final minute of play here in quarter number 1. McGrath wanted to drive, had her pass deflected into the hands of Ray. Kicks and stolen away. That's 4 CUC turnovers in the quarter. They've forced 7 MSOE, but they've given a few back. Pass inside, stolen away by Ray. Cougars can get a quick 2 for 1, but it looks like they're going to set up the offense and get a better, not force a shot. Now 10 to shoot to Ray. Good look for 3 off the right side is no good. Shot clock turned off. MSOE can take the last shot of the of the quarter if they want it. Looks like Hannah Trees, the head coach, is calling for it too. Pass deflected away and into the hands of Maddie McGrath. She'll pull up. Shot at the buzzer is just short, no good. End of one quarter of play here at Geisman. 15-9 your score. Cougars lead it. CUC 7 of 18 in that first quarter. They jumped out on a 13-1 run, but MSOE has fought their way back in, and they trail by 6 after our first 10 minutes. We'll take a quick break, get you set up for quarter number 2 here in just a few moments. You're watching Cougar basketball on the Cougar Sports Network. Back inside Geisman Gymnasium once again, a little thriller action going on here in Geisman. 10 minutes to play through, 15-9, CUC leads at Carter. Your thoughts?
We've talked about it so many times throughout the season that the Cougars get into kind of like a rhythm at the beginning of the game, and then that kind of rhythm just dulls out for a little bit, and they get a little bit sloppier on the offense. They were able to pick it up a little bit at the end off of a couple miscues from the Raiders, but again, the Cougars had a great start to this. Now it's just important that they can continue off of it and stay with what they were doing.
CUC was 6 of their first 8 from the field, and then they went 1 for their last 10 over the last part of that half. As that three's out of bounds, it'll be Raider ball. Coming in during the quarter change is Macy Klein for CUC. Dogs and Valley are in on the Raider side as that one's thrown away. Wide open lane for Charisma Robinson will put it in with the left hand.
To keep about Klein is that Coach Martin will put her in. She has a very, very quick shot in this, so if you get the chance to get her in the corner, she'll take a shot because she can be effective from 3.
Pass stolen away by Thornton. Feeds it ahead to Robinson with a left hand, and it's good.
A great pass there by Thornton. You just see laying it up there, and Robertson just getting a one bounce ease and an easy layup in transition.
CUC with 10 steals, and make that 11 now as Klein gets in on the action. She'll give it off to Thornton. CUC back up by 10. Largest lead was 11 in that opening quarter. Thornton steps back, thought about a 3, wants to drive with a right hand, strong take to the rim.
And you see here now just the Cougars getting really, really fast off of the turnovers. See, 3 miscues by the Raiders led to 3 great baskets for the Cougars.
8-0 CUC run over last 4:31. Loose ball on the floor. It will be a jump ball. Possession arrow favors CUC. And then it will be another MSOE turnover. CUC trying to build on this run. They're a perfect 3 for 3 here in the second quarter. They're going to run Steinkamp off a couple screens. She wants to drive, and she got tripped up by Brown. And for Brown, that'll be her second personal foul, first of the quarter.
Fouls on number 14, Samantha Brown, her first team foul of the quarter.
Inbound will be to Thornton. Wants to drive, kicks it back. Sets a screen for Ray, and her 3's off to Martin, no good, and then they're going to get an over-the-back call on Robinson.
Yeah, and Robinson there almost had it right there, but Reiser, you just see getting in front of her, making it difficult for Robinson to get the ball, and that's why you get the over-the-back call.
This is not something we see from the CUC team a lot. 18 of 21 of their points have come in the paint.
No, it's really been a lot of the shooting, but at the same time, they've been able to get so many points off of turnovers. They got 13 points off the turnover. They've just been really fast, so that's why you'll see a lot of points in the paint.
At 3 off the mark. MSOE now 1 of 5 shooting from deep. Klein skips it across to Ray. as Thornton's pass was barely saved by Robinson, now thrown out of bounds as she was about to fall out. It'll be Raider ball. Tara Hastings and Crystal Core into the game for CUC. They replace Klein and Steinkamp. Raiders get across the timeline here. 7:48 and counting in our first half. Loose ball underneath, and that one's kicked out of bounds. It will stay with the Raiders, and they'll get a fresh 20.
Great rotation there from the Cougars on all sides. You see the Raiders trying to work it around the paint, but someone was always going for the steal like you saw Hastings, but at the same time, Ray was able to come down on the backside and not allow for the easy layup.
Inside out, now 15 to shoot. Grayvold will set up the offense. Now into the right corner. 3 from the right baseline, no good, and Core brings down her 4th rebound of the day. Hastings to Ray. Ray hesitates, kicks. Robinson gives it back to Ray, who will cue up a 3, and she knocks it down.
And you see there, that's the second time they ran that kind of play, is a little handoff pass, and then Robinson just setting a semi-ball screen and just defending the defender, and that's why you got the great look there from Ray.
Shot inside, blocked away. Cougars trying to add on here. Robinson's pass deflected, and it will stay CUC ball. As we'll wait for Grayvold to tie her shoe. It'll be inbounded to Thornton. Screen set for Robinson, now with under 10. Wants to go through left side, got fouled on the way up, counted with a foul. Charisma Robinson with a strong take.
How about that? Just sustaining contact, but getting a nice look, ripping through and going to the left side of the lane and throwing it high off the glass to get the and one opportunity.
Robinson with 10 first half points on 5 of 6 shooting already.
Not to mention 3 steals already, too, so she's having a pretty good first half.
6th time this season Robinson has recorded double-digit points in a game. And the free throw's no good. Fight for the rebound. Still loose, and it'll end up in the hands of the Raiders. 26-9, Cougars lead it here. MSOE is shooting 3 of 12, 25% thus far. CUC's forced 13 turnovers. They've turned that into 13 points. 20 of the Cougars' 26 points have come in the paint thus far. And they're going to get Hastings for a reach-in on the near side. Destiny Dye will come in and make her first appearance of the game. Dye, a 5'8" freshman from Danville, Illinois. "20 seconds to work for the Raiders. Inbound layup, no good, out of the hands of Valley. Inside Hastings with a lot of contact. Little scoop on the right hand.
Yeah, but you just see there just a quick last-second crossover there, and it's ain't a lot of contact, but just a finger roll high off the glass. Really good move by Hastings.
CUC on a 15-0 run over the last 7:32. Robinson, look out on the near side of the bench, and it will be Cougar ball. Raiders are 0 for 5 this quarter. Have not scored yet. CUC has 13 points on 6 of 7 shooting thus far.
Well, you look at the shots that the Raiders have been taking this quarter, it's really just been a lot of contention from the Cougars. They haven't had any clean looks or shots to get away, and that's why you see them struggling right now, is because of all the pressure the Cougars have been putting on them.
They're going to get Core for a travel. She gave a little hop before she put the ball down. Robinson leads all scorers with 10. Hastings has 4. Ray has a triple. Steinkamp has a triple, and Core has 2. Thornton has 6. Drive inside, pass, and a charge as Destiny Dye takes the charge and pays the price, but she looks to bounce up all right. Foul will be against Amy Reiser.
One of the things that's really cool right now to be looking at from our view is to see the Cougars bench get so excited, because they're not just getting excited about points, they're getting excited about the steals and the charges right there you saw from Dye. So there's a lot of energy on that bench. You can see whenever they're coming into the game, a little piece of that bench is coming in too.
Wade back in the game. She'll run the point for CUC. Trying to build this lead out to 20 plus. Steinkamp now to Robinson. Wants to drive. Backs it out to Dye. They'll reset now with 10. To Steinkamp. Looking to make a move. Shot blocked away inside. And it's going to be a late jump ball call. And it will be MSOE ball. 4:56 remaining in our second quarter. 28-9, CUC leads it. We'll update you with some scores around the NACC in just a few moments. We got a little bit of a late start here as the first game of our doubleheader today went to overtime between the Cougars and Raiders, who were men, winning that one by 7 in overtime. And another instant classic here at Geisman.
Also, too, there's only been 5 fouls called so far in this quarter, and there's a lot of fouls called earlier.
Coach Martin not happy. The far side ref that she's talking to is the one that called the over and back. The referee on the near side here that's actually on the half-court line is the one that didn't make the call. So either way, it's Raider ball. CUC playing good defense. Megan Long coming in for the first time today. CUC going deep on this bench so far. Bounce pass out, queuing up a 3 is Dogs. It's off the mark. CUC will back it out and reset now with 20. MSOE has not scored in over 9 minutes. Their last basket came on an Amy Reiser layup as that 3 for Steinkamp's off the mark. Ludwig with the rebound. Now it's Dye for a long 2 that's off the mark, no good. And they're going to get a foul called. They're going to actually call it a 3. I thought her foot was on the line.
I thought her foot was on the line too, but at the same time, I didn't even know there was a foul called, but I was more impressed with the move Steinkamp put on the defender. That was a nasty move.
So it's going to be 3 shots here for Destiny Dye. Destiny Dye going to the line, the freshman from Danville, Illinois. First shot rims off, no good. Dye this season is now 3 of 7 from the free throw line. Second shot is up and good. 20-point lead. One more free throw coming here for Dye. And it's off the mark, no good. Fighting for the ball, and it's out of bounds. Long nearly came away with it, but it'll be MSOE ball, and the Raiders are going to take a timeout. Timeout by the Raiders. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Looking for a place to celebrate following a big Cougar win, like the men's game earlier today in overtime. Head to Doc Ryan's. Doc Ryan's on Madison Street has all your post-game needs covered. 29-9 here. CUC leads this one on a 16-0 run over the last 9:52. And Carter, they had that lull for a bit. They kind of got it going right at the end of the first quarter, and this second quarter has been the most dominant performance they've put on all year.
It has been, because they've been doing everything so fast-paced. They haven't let off the gas. I mean, you've seen they started off the quarter with three turnovers for the Raiders already. They turned those three turnovers into 6 points, super easy, and then they didn't look back from there. You just see the aggressiveness on the defensive side. The Raiders have not made a shot in this quarter, and credit to the Cougars defense for being aggressive and just all over the Raiders offense.
Last Raider field goal came with 3 minutes and 31 seconds in the first quarter on an Amy Reiser layup. CUC's been on a 16-0 run since then. They've opened this one up big here inside Geisman Gymnasium. I'm CJ Summer with my partner Carter Gledhill. Glad you could join us here for Saturday now evening action. In the high post, layup right side, blocked away by Maddie McGrath and thrown out of bounds.
And you see there, that's the deal. That's the perfect thing that you want to see out of the zone. They want to trap you high. They want to force you to go low, and then right when you think you got a layup, oh, there you go. You got your baseline defender and Maddie McGrath coming in to swat it away.
The 5'6" Maddie McGrath gives up 5, maybe 6 inches on Moruga as that shot's up and good for Jaylene Wade, but she still came away with the block. Cougar lead now extends to 31-9. Under 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Drive to the basket, count it with a foul. Michaela Doggs will go to line to shoot the N1 free throw, and that ends a 10-minute and 28-second drought for the Raiders.
And you see there the difference between that and the one before where McGrath didn't get called for the foul on the block, is that she moved her feet in front, and that's when you see that she wasn't able to get in front of her, and you were able to get the block.
The N1 free throw is off the mark, no good. Fight for the board, and it'll stay with the Raiders. Kayla Jackson into the game for the first time. Nearly the whole CUC roster has played in this first half, as that three's off the mark from Guan, and it's Long who will bring it down. Long kicks to Jackson. Had it knocked away, and we're going to get a jump ball. Possession arrow stays with CUC.
Moruga looked like she got a hit in the face on the last possession. She kind of came down wincing.
Macy Klein will return for CUC. On the MSOE side, it's Britta Gravold back into the lineup. 2:17 remaining in our second quarter, 20-point Cougar lead. Klein had an open look, wanted to drive, kicks. Long will queue up a three now. That's off the mark, no good. And they're going to have an off-ball foul called on CUC. That will be on Kayla Jackson. Her first personal. Team fourth. Michaela Tilton set to come in. Three queued up off front iron, no good. Loose ball underneath. MSOE gets it back. Shot this time off the mark. And it will be Jaylene Wade to run it down. CUC out rebounding MSOE as that Klein three is off the mark, no good. Jackson going up, and she will shoot two. So Jackson going to line with the chance to get her first career points in the maroon and gold. As you'll see Michaela Tilton come back into the Cougar lineup, replacing Sarah Ludwig. First shot off the mark, no good. Every Cougar has now appeared in today's game that's dressed for play. The second free throw is off the mark, and it will be MSOE ball. So there's a lane violation, so we'll actually get one extra free throw. So Jackson gets one more attempt at it. And this one is good.
Little to the left, little to the right, and now she nails it. Congratulations on your first career points.
CUC lead at 21. Cougars get lost underneath, and Klein got a piece of Moruga on the way up. The junior from Eminosa, Iowa. Two free throws coming in here for the Raiders.
Something to point out, too, about how fast-paced these Cougars are playing right now. In the Raiders' last game against Rockford, they won 60-36. The Cougars are already at 32 points, and we're just going near to halftime now.
One more free throw to come here for the Raiders. 89 seconds remaining in our first half as the free throws off back iron, no good. Wade with the rebound. CUC, one thing that they have not done well in this game is shoot the three, as Long puts that one up too strong off the back. CUC, one of their last 10. They're 2 of 11 from the from behind the arc.
Well, at the same time, you haven't really had to stress the three-point because you've been able to attack the paint and get into transition so much for the Cougars. So, I mean, it's other aspects of the game have been working a lot better for them.
Shot off the mark, no good. But when you look at that as something as a critique going forward that you want to see, when you're having such success as Klein's jumpers off the mark, when you're having such success getting in the paint, you almost want to see less threes get taken because you're having so much success on a team that's tired that you're running out of the gym.
Exactly, and there's no reason to take threes or long shots unless you need to because of the fact you're able to attack in the paint.
Macy Klein cues up a three, and she'll bank it home. Bank open late on a Saturday evening here in River Forest.
And you see there, I mean, the three that they took was a set run play, but they ran the offense through, so it's a quality look there for Klein, who's a good three-point shooter.
Shot clock turned off. Cougars leading 35-12. They've outscored MSOE 20-3 here in the second quarter. Layup off the right side, make that 20-5 as Gravewold puts that one in. Headlong trying to get it off before the buzzer, and that will do it for half number one. CUC put it all together in that second quarter. They outscore MSOE 20-5. They lead this one 35-14 after one half of play. Carter, your overall thoughts?
That's probably the best half of basketball we've seen these Cougars play in this season. You've just seen so much aggressiveness out of them. They're winning the rebounding margin right now, 25-15. They're absolutely doing a great job. 12 steals for them, and at the same time, 22 points in the paint for a team that's usually known for their shooting. But overall, a great first half performance from the Cougars.
10 different players score in the first half for CUC, led by Charisma Robinson with 10 points. Crystal Core has 4 boards, so does Michaela Thornton. She has 6 points for the Raiders. They are led by Reiser with 5 points and 4 boards. MSOE shoots 5 of 22, 22% in the first half. They knock down 1-3. We'll take a break. Second half coming up here from Geisman in just a little bit. 35-14 your score here in River Forest. We'll get you set up for the second half in just a little bit. Special day, Girls and Women's in Sports Day here at Geisman Gymnasium.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week, the Women's Sports Foundation will recognize the National Girls and Women in Sports Day. This year, with 88,700 competing in the NCAA Division III alone. But today, Concordia Chicago would like to recognize the 170 women's student athletes that represent the Concordia Chicago Cougars. Women's athletics began 60 years ago in Concordia with 16 and 75 athletes, but now in 2020 has grown to 9 teams plus cheer and dance. Within the past academic year, plus the fall of 2019, CUC's women's teams have had 23 all-conference athletes, including Melissa Valkema and Marina Van Dyke being first-team All-NACC for softball. In track and field, the Cougar women had 11 conference champions between the indoor and outdoor meets. Molly Coley was the freshman of the year crushing up the meet in both indoors and outdoors. Kayla Armstrong, the track athlete of the meet indoors, and Jessica Wilson, the court field athlete of the meet outdoors. Armstrong, Jessica Wilson, and Simone Wilson were all honored as all-region track and field athletes during the year and competed at nationals. Most notably, Kayla Armstrong won All-American honors in the 400 meters indoors and the 200 and 400 outdoors to bring her career total to 4 All-American honors, while Jessica Wilson won her first All-American award outdoors for the hammer throw. But Concordia Chicago female athletes are more than just great competitors and achievers. They know about success in the classroom as well. In 2019, 97 earned Conference Scholar Athlete honors for achieving a minimum 3.25 GPA for the year. Last year, the top 6 teams for the highest GPA in Concordia were women's teams, led by the lacrosse team with a cumulative 3.50. At the end of the fall 2019 semester, 8 of the women's teams are vying for that high honor this year. We also want to acknowledge Jessica Wilson from track and field, who, in addition to her Athletic All-American Award, also was named a Google Cloud second team academic All-American in 2019. From the beginning of women's intercollegiate athletics in 1959 through Title IX and later the evolution of NCAA Division III, literally thousands of women have contributed to the rich history here at Concordia, Chicago. Today, we celebrate you, what you have done, and what you will continue to do for women's athletics at this university. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for our women's student athletes.
Back inside Eisman Gymnasium once again with the fantastic CSN crew. I'm CJ Sunner with my partner Carter Gledhill. Graphics and replay is Julia Beers. Your producer is Shelby Spitz, and your camera operators are Grace Miller, Alexa Lamentini, and Shannon Stamp. 35-14, CUC put it all together in that first half. They were led by 10 points by Charisma Robinson, and it was the transition game, turning turnovers into points.
Yeah, they did. They had 13 points off of turnovers, 12 steals, and they had 22 points in the paint. Fantastic performance on the offensive side for the Cougars as well as the defensive side. The most complete half of basketball we've seen them play throughout the season.
They held the Raiders to just 22.7% shooting. They forced 15 turnovers. If you're Coach Martin, though, you have a couple things that you can still coach this team up at the half. A, shoot the three better, and B, take care of the ball.
Yeah, take care of the ball. 9 turnovers is still not a number you like to see. But also, too, the three-pointers, they're 3 for 12 from behind the arc today. So you can improve in that area. And you're probably going to see more of a – you're going to still see some fast-paced offense in transition, but also, too, just running a little bit more of the offensive scheme because it is starting to turn into a big game.
Raiders will go right to left across your screen for the second half in the red uniform. CUC will go left to right in the home whites. Once again, I'm CJ Sunner with my partner Carter Gledhill and our fantastic CSN crew behind the scenes. Glad you could join us here for Saturday NACC here on the women's basketball side. Men won in overtime over MSOE. Now it's the women that are looking to pick up the full sweep of the day here in Game 2. It'll be to Hastings. She had a very quiet first half with just 4 points, but she did have 3 steals, which matches this game high. Turnaround, jumper in the lane, no good for Michaela Thornton.
Hastings is kind of in a lull right now in her offensive after coming off a career high of 29 against CU Ann Arbor at the second round of Concordia Invitational Tournament. She's had only 15 points in the past 2 games combined. So obviously teams are keying in on her in the second part of the conference.
Getting you some scores around the NACC on the women's side. Dominicans up 20 at home against Alverno down the street. Edgewood is up 32 on Illinois Tech on the south side of Chicago. Benedictine leads Marion by 24. Lakeland and Aurora are underway. We'll get you a score on that one in just a little bit as the skip pass results in a 3 at the buzzer, and it's good for Michaela Dogs.
A great shot there from Dogs. McGuan, you see a nice little baseline, really a hard pass to do, but you just see she muscles it over the defense and gets to set it up for Dogs.
Lakeland's leading Aurora by 8 right now, that game in the fourth quarter. This game's probably going to be the last one of all of them to get finished off. Most games are in the fourth quarter already in the NACC. This one a little bit behind schedule with the overtime game on the men's side that preceded this one. Inside, Thornton, shot blocked and a foul. As Dogs got a piece of her. 2 free throws coming here for Michaela Thornton. Thornton with 6 points so far on the night to go along with 4 boards, an assist, and 2 steals. One more free throw to come here for Thornton. We'll see if CUC can keep their foot on the gas. And that's been the problem with this team and consistency-wise this season.
It has been. They've been starting off each half pretty well, and then towards the middle of it kind of just getting slowed down, a little too comfortable with the leads that they've been having in the past couple games. And then right before the half, they find a little burst of energy to go into the locker room. But the first half, besides just a little lull maybe in the middle of the first, we didn't see that in the second quarter.
MSOE looking to get it inside. CUC does a good job recovering. Drive, left hand, shot, count it with a foul for Dogs. Dogs junior from Kewaskum, Wisconsin. Now has 8 points, and she'll try to make it 9 right here. Fouls on Tara Hastings, her second personal. And 1 free throw's no good. Stick around, postgame. We'll have head coach Lauren Martin following the game and get her complete thoughts on today's contest. Ray could have stepped into the 3, then thought better. Cougars will continue to run the offense. Now with 10. Hastings, hesitation move, kicks it across, makes the extra pass. Now it's Thornton inside, tough shot, right hand is good.
How about that from Hastings, controlling the offense, telling Robinson to go to the other side of her so she could get the baseline, and then you see the nice sequence of passes all around for her to get that nice shot there from Thornton.
It's a first double-digit point game for Thornton since January 14th when she had 10 against CU Dub. It'll be back to CUC ball in a 20-point game. And one thing that we've noticed from Thornton, this has been the most aggressive I've seen her this season in getting into the paint and getting to the hoop.
And she has. I mean, we've talked about, like we've seen throughout some of the games, she's really done a good job of getting in and acting as a post player. But today especially, I think it came with the competitive edge of coming in, little chip on your shoulder. From the last game, she performed pretty well in and to keep going to the paint.
Robinson with a steal and turns that into points. Robinson now with 4 steals and 12 points in 14 minutes. CUC is now for 17 MSOE turnovers as Hastings tried to gamble and come away with one there. That three's up and good out of the hands of Dogs.
And Dogs has really been one of the bright spots here for the Raiders. You see the quality of shots she's been taking, and also she's just been the center for the whole offense and where the ball is going to be going to.
Dogs this season is coming off back-to-back 20-point performances. She has scored in double figures in all but 4 games this season. She did miss 3 games at the beginning of January, and that's going to be an offensive foul and a moving screen on number 24, Wendy Guan. Kohler core into the game for CUC. Up top, Kohler. See if they can get Crystal Core involved again. She had some good position early. Skip pass across. Steinkamp cues up a 3 right side, too strong. Robinson there, and it'll bounce off of her and out of bounds, and it'll be MSOE ball. 5:53 remaining here in our third quarter of play. 41-22, CUC leads it. It was a big second quarter for the Cougars where they outscored the Raiders 20-5. They held MSOE scoreless for over 10 minutes of play when they blew this one open. Dogs goes past Kohler. That's an easy right hand. MSOE trying to work their way slowly back in this. Dogs now with 13. And Coach Martin has seen enough. She wants a timeout. Timeout by Concordia. It will be a full timeout. We'll take one too. Chick-fil-A in Melrose Park is proud to be a sponsor of Concordia University Chicago Athletics. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Chick-fil-A Melrose Park has you covered. Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. We'll take a timeout with the one on the floor. Back inside Geisman Gymnasium once again, coming out of the timeout. I'm CJ Sunner with my partner Carter Gladhill and the rest of our CSN crew. Cougars lead this one 41-24, and it's one of those lulls that we talked about right now, Carter.
Yeah, it has been. The Cougars have been scoreless for the past minute and a half, 1 of 4 from their last 4. And I said they struggled from the three-point line, only 1 of 5 in their last 5 attempts. So it's really hard for them to get anything going, but you see Crystal Core there getting it started with a little move in the paint to get them on the board and get the scoreless ending.
When she comes around the top of that semi-circle restricted area and can get to that right hand, her length is something hard to guard.
It is, because she's got such long strides, and you just see it takes one move to get around, and then you're already on the backside if you're a defender.
Drive with the left hand, and the layup's good for Amy Reiser. Reiser now with 7 points on 3 of 5 shooting. MSOE trying to gain ground here in this third quarter. Core hesitates, kicks out Kohler. She'll pop a 3 from the right wing, and it's good.
Great recognition there from Core to look out to the side for Kohler. You see just not having too much open looks with 3 Raider defenders around her and just kicks it out. Kohler, great look there for the 3.
Pump fake drive, ball was lost, but they're going to get a foul called. I think they're going to get Core. No, it's going to be Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson came in a little too hard across the arm there, going for the steal.
That's her second personal. We see subs on the CUC side. Maddie McGrath and Sarah Ludwig back into the lineup. Second team foul of the quarter. 4:10 remaining in the third. 20-point Cougar lead. Jumper long 2 out of the hands of Danielle Valley, the sophomore from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. To Kohler at the top. Gets a screen. Now it'll be back to Kohler. Kohler wants to go baseline. That pass into the hands of Wade. Now McGrath for 3. Off the mark. Ludwig offensive board. Second chance, no good. Fight for the loose ball and out of bounds. Now, we won't have a replay of it, but I would actually like to say this was me in my old refereeing days. The one MSOE player touched the ball when it got to Wade when she was out of bounds. I'm just saying that should have been an out-of-bounds call. CUC ball. You can't touch it when you're out of bounds.
No, you can't.
I'll take that point for the day.
There you go.
I know I lost one when I completely butchered Anamosa, Iowa's name, especially when I have an Iowa camera operator sitting right to my left, Shannon Stamp. Ludwig in transition. Nice finish on the left side. Twelve different Cougars have scored in this game now. Everybody has appeared in this game for CUC as they've been in the driver's seat from the jump. They've never trailed. 17-footer off front iron, no good. Crystal Core will come down with the board. Core now with 6 rebounds to go along with 4 points. McGrath will back it out to Wade. Comes off a screen, kicks. Ludwig will take a 3 from the right side, and it's good for Sarah Ludwig.
That's her first 3-pointer made this season, 0 of 8 before that, but you see she's got a really nice look and shot and a great assist from Wade.
Cougar lead, balloons up now to 51-28. 3 off the left wing, no good. Offensive board put back up and in. CUC couldn't find put a body on Amy Reiser.
No, and she just flew into the paint. You just see a little lack of communication there for the Cougars with the free person going for the rebound.
McGrath swings it. Now McGrath gets again. To Ludwig. Across, now Wade. Inside Core, and she wanted to hot pass that to McGrath, but was unable to get rid of it. McGrath wasn't ready, and it will be MSOE ball, the 10th Cougar turnover of the day. Full line change, almost a full line change for CUC. Klein, Thornton, and Ray are back into the lineup. They replace Kohler, Core, and Wade. Skip pass across, now drive right side. Dogs inside, got cut off by Klein. Kicks it to the top. Guan with a good hesitation. Her shot's up and good from 10. Guan's first basket of the day. Everyone that's appeared now for the Raiders has scored in today's contest. Klein with an open look for 3, and it's going to be an offensive foul. They're going to get a charge on Thornton before the Klein shot. Minute 18 remaining in our third quarter. Cougars leading comfortably 51-32. Pass inside, deflected away by Thornton. It'll stay with the Raiders. Inside layup is good for Lexi Maruga. Klein got cut off, will back it out to Thornton. .15 seconds on the shot clock. McGrath wanted to throw it to Klein. Has to run it down in the corner. Now Klein across. Tough shot with the left hand. Off the mark, no good. Offensive board for Ludwig. Ray with it. CUC can't take the last shot of the half. It was an offensive board, so it resets to 20. About a 5.5 second difference between shot clock and game clock. Ray kicks. Klein for three. It's too strong. Shot clock now turned off. Drive inside. Shot is up and good over Klein by Maruga. And MSOE gains a little bit of ground back in that third quarter. They trail 51-36 after 30 minutes of play. 10 minutes to go in regulation here inside Geisman. If you're looking for a place to chill out after a big Cougar win, Doc Ryan's in Madison Street has you covered. Doc Ryan's, always there for all your post-game needs. 51-36 at the end of 3. Back inside Geisman Gymnasia as a young one gets ready to shake it off down on the far side behind our scores table. Our fantastic CSN crew behind the scenes doing a wonderful job tonight, and definitely the crew that doesn't get talked about on the other side of the stadium is Danny Garillo and Courtney Luciano that do a fantastic job feeding us all the stats and information that we need up here on the computer. It's a thankless job over there.
It is. East side's better than the west side.
And I don't disagree, but I know for a fact that Danny would disagree, especially when she hasn't been fed a whole lot today. Going into our fourth quarter here, Cougars leading 51-36. Kick is to Bailey Steinkamp on the far side, and her shot swatted out of bounds. It'll stay with the Cougars, 9:42 remaining. That third quarter, MSOE outscored CUC 22-16. They shot 71% in that third quarter, Carter.
Yeah, and that was one quarter we also saw them take a lot more charges in the paint. They've now got 20 points in the paint, so they've increased their moving in the paint and their offensive production there, but it's going to take a little bit more Cougar defense to slow them down.
Thornton gets it up and in. She's into double figures now that with 12. She's had a very good game, and again, that's Thornton getting inside, and she has not settled where we've seen in the past with her. We've said it. She's settled kind of for that 10, 15-footer. Well, she has the athletic ability. Get to the rim if you can do it, and that's what she's done.
And I think that's something that Coach Martin probably mentioned to her, because we've seen in the last couple games she's played, she's started to do that more. And I think it also helps, too, with her bringing the ball up. She's able to see the paint a little bit earlier and more often to see how open it is for her.
Shot inside was blocked, but a foul will be called by the near side referee on Bailey Steinkamp, and there'll be 2 free throws coming. Foul on Steinkamp's her third. Megan Long will come back in the game for CUC. CUC's out-rebounded MSOE by 10, 32-22. First free throw is up and good. At the line is Danielle Valley, the sophomore from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. Valley on the season a 55% free throw shooter. As the second's off the mark, no good. Robinson with the rebound, her third of the day. Long wants to go baseline, kicks. Great find to Ray for three. It's off the mark. Fight for the rebound. There's Robinson again. Now this long pass is thrown out of bounds. Correction, it was tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with CUC. Robinson to inbound, and it'll be into Thornton. We'll back it out now to Ray with 10. Ray will cue up a three from the top. That's well off the mark. CUC has not got going offensively in the second half. Now 7 of 18 shooting. They are 2 of 8 from three. And they're going to get a foul called as that referee just gave Lauren quite the talking to. So Coach Martin just got warned. I didn't think it warranted that. Foul was on Thornton, her third. Robinson picking up on Dogs. Backed out under 10 to shoot. Kicked. Dogs for three. Off the mark, no good. Into the hands of Ray. Thornton trying to run off her defender. Gives it to Long. It'll be CUC ball on the side. Foul there will be on Dogs. That's her second personal. Jaylene Wade back into the lineup for CUC, replacing Ray. 8 minutes even on the game clock here at Geisman. We'll get you some final scores from the NACC, because a lot of the games got quite the jump on us with the overtime game on the men's side that preceded this one. And that's going to be an offensive foul called on CUC's Charisma Robinson as she went barreling in. Dominican leads Alverno by 20. That game in the fourth quarter. Final score is Edgewood 79, as that one's off the mark and out of bounds. Edgewood 79, Illinois Tech 42. Concordia, Wisconsin 102, Rockford 39. Benedictine 77, Marion 46. And up in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, between the Lakeland Muskies and the Aurora Spartans, it is a tie game with 1:19 left in the fourth. Long has it, wants to go baseline. Good kick, Wade. Extra pass, Thornton. Back to Wade. She'll get an open look at three, and she knocks it down.
It's so good that she's been doing that. We've always talked about how she's always ready to shoot. Their first made three of the night.
How about the CUC team that hasn't forced a lot of shots, in the fact Thornton could have tried to drive there with two defenders there, but waited for the collapse and then got the open look for three for her teammate Jaylene Wade.
And that's something that we've seen a lot of these freshmen start to do, is just mature in their gameplay and understand that it's okay to wait another half a second and just see how the defense is going to play out.
Long kicks, Wade. Thought about a three, now is looking to drive. Gives it to Thornton. In traffic, and there's going to be a foul called on the way in. It will be on number 10, Michaela Dogs. That'll be her third personal. Second team foul of the quarter. Inbound will be to Wade. She'll take a long two, and it's good. Wade with 7 points. In total, CUC has had a great performance off the bench as well today. 24 points off the bench thus far. Free throws coming here for the Raiders. Foul will be on number 2, Tara Hastings. That'll be her third personal. She'll get replaced by Sarah Ludwig. Cougar women trying to complete the complete sweep of MSOE here today. Men winning in overtime by 7 earlier today. Now the women continuing to lead here. It was that second quarter that's really been the difference in this game, Carter.
It was, and that's really just – it was a dominant quarter for the Cougars. 20 points, 8 of 14 from the field, and 2 of 5 from behind the arc. They really were just pushing tempo the whole time, and really the defensive side of the ball, only holding a team to 5 points in a quarter, that's pretty impressive.
Robinson comes down with the board, her 5th of the day after the missed free throw. To Robinson. Step back, 15-footer, too strong. Swung now left side. Dogs underneath Grayvold. She'll back it out, getting picked up by Ludwig. Drive right side, and they're going to get long for a block as Reiser was trying to get to the rim. It'll be the 4th team foul on CUC. Destiny Dye returns to the lineup for the Cougars alongside Maddie McGrath. So they are going to say that was a shooting foul. Oh, it was a double bonus foul. My mistake. I appreciate that, Shelby. First free throw is up and good. CUC women will have a week off before they will be back in action. Their next game will come a week from today on Saturday, February 8th, when they go up to Wisconsin Lutheran. CUC trying to avenge an early season loss. They lost to the Warriors 52-40 in this gym. CUC led a majority of that game, but they let it slip away late. That's going to be another big one as Wisconsin Lutheran's near the top of the conference.
And again, for the Cougars to get back in the playoff race, if you can redeem yourself on that loss, even making a case to get into the 6 or the 5 seed, it's something that they're going to keep doing. But I would be careful out with the Warriors because this is a team that's really matured and improved over the season.
Wade skips it across. Thornton is going to have to take a step-back 3 at the buzzer. Hits off front iron, and it will be a offensive foul on the rebound. Destiny Dye got spun around like a tabletop into the Cougar bench. They'll give it ball back to CUC. Thornton will take a seat. It'll be Chloe Shaftsma into the game for CUC. So it'll be CUC ball to inbound, leading by 19. Fouls on Maruga, her 3rd. Screen set for Wade. Backs it out to Dye. Now Shaftsma. Shaftsma looking for somewhere to go. It's Maddie McGrath. She'll cue up a 3 that rims off no good. And they're going to get Shaftsma for an over the back. How about this line? Because I would assume at this point we're not going to see any more Charisma Robinson. 12 points, 6 of 8 shooting, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals.
That's a fantastic line. She really did everything for the Cougars today when she was on the court.
Michaela Thornton's having a great game, too, as that one's up and good for Michaela Dogs, now with 14 points. Thornton, 12 points on 5 of 8 shooting, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block shot. Second free throw's up and good, making it a 17-point game. You don't want to let the Raiders keep creeping if you're CUC. Not that you're not in control, but you do want to have positive momentum going into a long week of practice before you take on the Warriors.
Exactly. You want to get as much momentum as possible because that's going to carry you and really remember what's going on.
Shaftsma's 3 off the mark and out of bounds. They'll give it to the Raiders. CUC now 1 for their last 5 shooting. They're 3 of 10 in the quarter. Skip pass around Dogs. Now 3 will be hoisted by Grayvold. That's off the mark. Fight for the loose ball, and it'll be offensive board for Valley. MSOE will back out and reset. High post, Maruga. CUC collapsed before she could get a shot off. Now baseline jumper is off the mark, no good for Valley. And it'll be Jaylene Wade with the rebound. Driving kick, Dye will cue up a baseline three, rims off, no good. Offensive board, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with CUC. Into the game will be number 34, Michaela Tilton. 3:53 remaining. Stick around after the game. We'll have head coach Lauren Martin up here to talk about today's game. Get her thoughts as her team's trying to put the closing touches on a 2-game winning streak. Shasma trying to drive through traffic. Shot might have been partially blocked. Into the hands of Wade. Skip across the Tilton for three at the buzzer. It's off the mark, no good. Pass is thrown away. CUC in transition. Wade had it knocked out from underneath her. Kicks Shasma. She'll pull up from 15 feet off back iron, no good. Three hoisted right side out of the hands of Dogs, no good. Rebound brought down though for the Raiders. They're closing in on that rebounding margin a bit here in this fourth quarter. They've had a couple extra looks. They're going to get an off-ball foul as Destiny Dye knocked over Gravold. They'll put Gravold at the line. Foul on Dye will be her first personal. Cougars over the limit, so there'll be free throws coming here for Gravold, who's 1 of 2 from the free throw line tonight. Macy Klein and Megan Long back into the lineup for CUC. After tonight, CUC will have 5 games left in the 2019-2020 season, which is hard to believe. 3 out of their next 5 will be at home. They'll be on the road, as I said, next Saturday, but then it will be home the following week against Rockford and Dominican, and they'll close out with Benedictine at home on Wednesday, February 19th. I also do believe Senior Day will be February 15th against Dominican, and then the season will close, the regular season at that, on February 22nd against Aurora. Now to Klein, right side. So now Tilton with 10. Pass wanted to get to Klein, and it got knocked away. Pass ahead, layup good in transition for Gravold. She now has 5. Dogs leads the scores for the Raiders with 15. Reiser has 11. Raiders have played much better in the second half. They went 10 of 14 from the field in the third quarter and scored 22 points. As Robinson and Hastings come back into the lineup as it's become a 15-point game.
I think also, too, the Raiders were able to start working their transition game a lot better. They started pushing tempo a little bit more in the second half, realizing that it was going to have to come to them speeding up their game because they had to match the Cougars' intensity.
Pass will be swung to Maddie McGrath as we come up on our final 2 minutes of play. All freshmen on the floor right now for CUC. Tough shot for Robinson, no good. Offensive board, though, for Long. Now Macy Klein wanted to get to the rim, and she traveled before she didn't put the ball down in time.
No, just a little too excited right there and seeing the open lane. Just almost forgot about the ball.
Samantha Brown into the game, the 5'5 freshman from Antioch, Illinois. Kayla Kohler into the game. She will replace Megan Long. Minute 55 remains here at Geisman. Cougars leading 58-43. Underneath, loose ball. Maddie McGrath has it, and she got fouled, and it's double bonus time. Maddie McGrath will go to the line to shoot the double bonus. McGrath trying to get in the scoring column for CUC. Twelve different Cougars have already scored in this game. McGrath, if she's able to convert a free throw, would make it 13. First free throw is short, no good. One more free throw to come here for McGrath. On the season, she is a 63% free throw shooter, and she knocks down the second. We'll have head coach Lauren Martin following the game. Don't forget to stick around for that. Pass inside, layup with the left hand is good for Samantha Brown. McGrath kicks to Klein. Now Hastings, she'll take a three from the left wing. That's short, no good. McGrath had it, but she was out of bounds. It'll be MSOE ball. Right side drive cut off. Layup inside, no good. Fight for the rebound, and a foul is on free throws here for Samantha Brown. MSOE continuing to show effort and fight back here in this one. You got to give credit to them and head coach Hannah Treese.
You have to. I mean, it was a very hard start for them at the beginning. You only go into halftime with 14 points, and you had the uphill climb from there. So you come out in the third quarter, fire it up. You had 22, and still it's not enough right now. But you just got to give credit to them for what they've done today, even when it wasn't going their way.
One more free throw coming here for the Raiders. Second free throw is off the mark, no good. Kind of up on our final minute of play. Robinson off a screen, good hesitation, layup too strong. CUC has not put a lot of finishing touches on shots here in the second half.
No, it's something they haven't been as strong as through contact that we saw in the first half either, and just a little too much oomph off the backboard if you want to stay on some of these layups and finishes.
Layup from the right side is in and out, no good. And Robinson will come away with her sixth rebound of the day. Pass ahead, Ludwig wanted to find Klein. It was stolen away by Alyssa Cesares, the freshman from Bolingbrook, Illinois. After Cesares caught it, she traveled, though, and it'll be CUC ball. 4.4 second difference between shot clock and game clock. So CUC will have to at least hit the rim one more time. Inbound will be to Kayla Jackson. Now to Ludwig. Klein with contact. Shot clock turned off here at Geisman as the final few seconds will run off. Layup off the left-hand side is good. Cougars just have to get it across half court, and that should be your ball game. Cougars pick up a 59-47 win here over the Raiders as they complete the sweep of the day over MSOE. Carter, your final thoughts.
It was a great first half from the Cougars. I think they got a little complacent in the second half. A little bit of their offense downward, but you still got to give credit to them. They shot almost 38% from the field, and how about that? Putting up 20 points in the second quarter alone. They really came out explosive. Player of the game, in my opinion, is Charisma Robinson. She had a fantastic game. 12.6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 steals. She was really doing everything for the Cougars today and really led the charge that led the surge in the second quarter.
Michaela Thornton had 12 points as well for CUC to go along with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a blocked shot. For the Raiders were led by Michaela Doggs with 15 points. Reiser had 11. In total, MSOE went 18 of 47 from the field, 3 of 17 from 3, and 8 of 21 from the free throw line. CUC won the rebounding battle 46-34, and they forced 21 MSOE turnovers. They turned into 16 points. CUC had 32 points in the paint as well. CUC also had 7 second chance points. For the Cougars, they were 24 of 64 from the field. They were 6 of 27 from 3 and 5 of 10 from 3. As I said, they won the rebounding battle. We'll have head coach Lauren Martin up here in just a few moments. Cougars with the win here today improved to 7-13 overall and 6-9 in the conference. For the Raiders, they fall to 6-13 overall and 6-8 in the NACC. CUC will be back in action a week from today when they take on Wisconsin Lutheran College up in Milwaukee. It'll be part of the Winter festivities for the Wisconsin Lutheran College Warriors. as head coach Lauren Martin makes her way over here. So glad you're taking the time out to join us here today.
Yep.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Let's start right away with that second quarter. What was going right for your team?
Well, we keep track of stops. Our team does. We have goals to get 3 stops, 5 stops, 7, and then 10 is like a bonus. And in that time, we had 19 stops in a row. So it was just, we were working our butts off on the defensive end. We again went through like a scoring drought during that time, but props to just the effort and energy. They went after it there. And, they felt really good about that. So I think they put a lot of energy into that quarter. Maybe made them tired for the rest of the way, but that's a new goal for us to beat is 19 stops in a row.
Well, especially when you hold a team scoreless for a 10-minute stretch in any game, I don't care who you are, most likely you're going to be on the right side of the scoring column.
Yeah. So, again, all the credit goes to the girls. I think almost everybody played during that time, too. So they all came in, they busted their butts, and I'm happy about that. 2
players will highlight. First, Charisma Robinson. A jam-packed stat line, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 assists. What a game for her, and she got going to the hoop, and when she's rolling with that confidence, she's tough to stop.
Yeah. She comes out with hot starts, and I think that really gets our girls going. She comes ready every game, and, as a freshman, that's really cool. Like, she has that mindset. When she comes to the game, she's ready to go. So just needs to keep working on it, and her sky's really the limit.
And how about Michaela Thornton? This is the first time I said it on air. She did not settle for any 10 or 15-foot jumpers. This is the first game I've seen of hers that she got to the rim and made a conscious effort to make sure she got to the rim. And she finishes with 12 points on 5 of 8 shooting.
Yeah, points in the paint, higher percentage, and then it opens it up for our shooters to hit. I thought she did a great job attacking, getting her eyes up early and finishing at the rim, both hands. And then, she does that and it'll open up other things for other players as well. And she's got the one more mindset too. So make that extra pass and get everybody involved.
One more. You now have a week till you guys play again when you play Wisconsin Lutheran a week from today. What will you kind of take from this 2-game winning streak over the next week to get this team ready for really the critical stretch with 5 games to go?
Yeah. We've been on a grind since the new year. And so, I told the girls that hold nothing back. They got a week pretty much to prepare, a couple of days to rest, hopefully get caught up on schoolwork and just have their minds at ease and then come ready for Wisconsin Lutheran. That's a team that we played pretty tough the first time around. We just couldn't put the ball in the basket, but we've made some changes since then, to make our offense a little bit more solid. So we're excited to play them. I think this team believes they can compete with anybody, and I believe they can compete with anybody. So
congratulations on the win, Coach. Cougars winners here 59-47 over the MSOE Raiders. With the win, CUC now 7-13 overall, 6-9 in the NACC, and still well alive in the playoff race. If you've been with us all day, thank you so much for tuning in to our NACC coverage here at CUC. For my fantastic crew, your producer Shelby Spitz, your graphics and replay, Julia Beers, and our fantastic camera crew, Alexa Lamentini, Shannon Stamp, and Grace Miller. I'm CJ Sellner, signing off for today. Cougars sweep the day over the Raiders. Women win this one 59-47. Have a good night.